Well, hello you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so I do worry when you see how desperate we've all become to have some sort of change. And yes, I suppose this is going to be another one of those videos that probably tanks a few more subs off my channel. But the thing is, I can't compromise how I do things because of that. Now, again, it's like you're on repeat, but like people just don't listen. Do we need a change from the uni party that we suffer from? Well, yes, of course we do. Do we need a organisation like Reform? Well, yes, of course we do. And everybody goes, oh, well, you know, you're Reform bashing. I'm not Reform bashing. I agree in principle that party is desperately needed in this country. It really, 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 really is. And we need to embrace it as much as we can. But, as I've said before, you shouldn't embrace it and not worry about the cost. You see, we can all be as successful as we want to be, but what holds us back is the cost that it can incur. Now, if you want to go out and damn the cost and do whatever you want, you will get whatever you want. You probably won't be very much liked, but that's the way it is. And we have become such a nation in such desperate, dire straits, because we are. I mean, you know, and it's only going to get worse. That because we're being told that, and this is where it annoys me and worries me, is when people go, instead of the used to be, Reform is our only hope. Now a lot of it becomes Nigel is our only hope. Now, I would love Reform to win. And if there was an election tomorrow, I would vote Reform. Even though a lot of people seem to think I'm very much anti-Reform, I am not. I'm very much not. I actually want the party to become everything that it could possibly be. But I also don't want to do that by sacrificing it at any cost. Now, the latest thing is Charlie Mullins. Another member of Reform who's there only because of money, and yet again we are prepared, or a lot of people are prepared, to turn a blind eye and forget the kind of person that Charlie Mullins is. I mean, you know, I've come back from Spain to stand for Reform. All right, so you love the country that much, you just don't live in it. He's also one of the people during the scamdemic who wanted anyone who didn't have the vaccine basically stripped from society.
So for me, it's a no-brainer. From a business point of view, it's a must. And, you know, the quicker that everybody acknowledges that, without proof of the vaccine, you can't go into a pub, club, restaurant, gymnasium, anywhere at all. You can't travel. Theatre, you can't even go into work. I mean, personally, I have to say, I don't even think that we should allow people on the streets unless they've had the vaccine. So
we seem to have very short memories when it comes to what people said and did during that, and how they treated other people, other fellow members of humanity. Having him want to be an MP and stand is the worst thing you could do. I mean, this is the man who wants to be in part of Reform, but also has made it blatantly clear still wants to be in Europe. So this is a man who voted against Brexit, now in a party run by the guy who was pro-Brexit and got the Brexit vote in. You see, we do need it. We desperately need it, but we have to be so careful that in our absolute, total and utter desperation, we don't just accept something because it's the only option without being able to be critical of it. The principle of reform, yes. The party of reform, yes. All these things we need. Some of the decisions that are being made, no. Some of the language that's being said, no. The senior leadership being the people who own it, remember they still own it, no. Making the party all about one man, no. Especially when that man has an ego, and also, as horrible as it is to say, has a track record of pissing off when everything gets a little bit too much. So, as I said, I would vote reform if there was an election tomorrow. But I worry what article we're going to get after. There's too much. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then, well, maybe we're not. And that's what we get with the others. We get all the promises in the world with the others, and then they go back on them. So then you are given an option. You are presented with hope on a plate. And that's good enough. What about things that are said? Don't worry about it. Oh, you're just evil. And they tell you, oh, go and start your own party. Oh, you're just going to vote like... You don't listen. And when you're not listening to genuine concerns and criticism, if you're blindly following somebody, it stops being a political party and starts to become a cult. We all need change. We all know that. But is it worth selling your soul to the devil just to get what you want? Is that the price that we're all to pay? If you're not paying attention to the little things that I and others bring up, little things that should make you go, I don't know, hold on a minute. If you're going to just blindly ignore those because you're that desperate, we have to be careful, because sometimes it is better the devil you know. Now, normally, the drill is at the moment, I do one video in the morning and one video in the afternoon. When I'm going to take the kids to school, I'm only going to pick them up from school. And that's the way I can get 2 videos done. I mean, I will start getting them out produced quicker than this. But in any case, so this morning, which is the bit that you've watched just now, as I've now linked these 2 videos together, you saw I was talking about Charlie Mullins standing for reform and why that wouldn't be such a good idea. So I come back, open up Twitter, sorry, X. I got, oh boy, I don't know if I'll ever forget calling it Twitter, but in any case, I opened up X to find that Zia Youssef, the chairman of the party, put this tweet up right here, where he described some random. The thing is, everybody knows he means Charlie Mullins, because he's the only one who's been on TV saying anything. So why didn't he name him? God knows, only knows why. So the thing is, Charlie Mullins said that in his interview, well, he said this.
Well, that's right. We're going to start off with a local councillor and see where it goes from there. I've been asked if I'd like to do it by Nigel, and yeah, why not anything to get Labour out and get reform in, I think. Yeah,
well, I mean...
So therefore, he's saying that Nigel Farage invited him to stand for the party. So that's the guy who basically owns reform, because it's still a limited company and Nigel Farage is the bloke in charge. Well, that side of it, in any case. So then the party chairman goes, I think it's hilarious. Well, it's not really that funny, is it, here? Because the simple truth of the matter is, what this does is it shows a glaring problem that reform have. And that is, there's either a complete and utter breakdown in communication between the 3 of you, none of you talk to each other, none of you have any idea what the other one is saying, or you just don't have a PR department. And I think it's a bit of both. You definitely don't have a PR department, because if you had a public relations department, you wouldn't be all making the same screw-ups that you're making all the time by saying stupid stuff. So the question now is, although Zia finds it hilarious, it's not hilarious, because who's lying? Is Charlie Mullins lying? Or are you lying? I mean, I've took a screenshot of it, of the tweet, and kept it with my response, which you'll have seen on the screen. Because the funny thing is Zia Youssef is only in the position that he is in Reform because he bought his way in. He invested a large sum of money into Reform, and then all of a sudden became its chairman. So the simple truth of the matter is, as I said in my reply, if Charlie Mullins makes a substantial donation to Reform, I got this funny feeling that what you just said isn't going to be true, because you're going to let him stand because he bought his place. And this is the other issue, you see, because then if that does happen, apart from you trying to grab every Tory that you can find, we don't want Tories in the party because they screwed up over 14 years, and just changing the shade of blue on their tie isn't going to make them any better of a politician. It really, really isn't. But the other fact that you can actually, apparently, so it appears, buy your way in to the party, great place to park, on the right of the corner, also raises issues. So you go on about the party's building, which is a good thing. Again, I'll reiterate, like I had at the beginning of the video, I would gladly support Reform. I would, because we need it. We do. We need something. But the simple truth, again, as I said, is at what cost? So now we have somebody saying one thing, and then somebody else who's apparently the leader of the party saying another thing, and no one actually knowing where the basis of truth lies. Because up until now, I mean, it's 10 to 3 on the 15th. And I'm just saying that now because it was this morning on the 15th at about 8 o'clock when I did the first video, and it all changed while I was driving. So at the moment, Nigel hasn't come out and said anything to confirm or deny what was said. So, anyone know? Anyone have a guess? And do you think that this reflects well on the party? See, I personally don't. I see it as we have a serious communications issue, and they're doing nothing to address said issue. And it's a concern. It's also a concern about who is actually telling the truth about what's going on, and does one hand of Reform know what the other hand is doing? It's a very valid question, and maybe we've got to get an answer. Now, again, this isn't me. It's been frustrating because a lot of us who are speaking out and just drawing people's attention to this are being mercilessly attacked. We're getting subscriber hits, and we're being called this, that, and the other, just for raising questions. And I've been accused many times over the few videos I've done of I'm the one singularly splitting the vote. You need to get a grip, really, because I have just over 7,400 at the moment, it might go down again, subscribers. I have a very, very, very tiny reach. And apart from the 7,000 people who are subscribed, it's not a lot of people in the entire makeup of the country. So somebody like me cannot influence the vote in any way, shape or form. By you coming on and saying you're splitting the vote, grow up, because it's impossible for me. I'm just mentioning it. Now, I served my country, so therefore I have a more vested interest than anyone else in what's going on, because I sacrificed a lot for this country, and a lot of my friends made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. So please forgive me if I'm a little bit more invested and I want to know answers. Now, that's not degrading anyone else giving a shit about the country. It really isn't. It just means that I have a real serious vested interest in this country. So stop having a go and saying you're doing this and you're doing that. Look, keep attacking me in your cult-like manner, and it just shows you up for who you are. You're just not prepared to listen. And as I've said in the previous video and many videos before, I'm all for reform, but I'm not at reform if that means we have to sell our souls to the devil just to get rid of the Labour Party. Because that isn't really a win, is it? Any case, 2 videos popping up. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be one that the gods of YouTube, using their mighty algorithm, will have decided that you really do need to watch. So why deny the algorithm? If you're one of the 87% of people who watch my videos and aren't subscribed, why not? It costs you nothing. Click the button. What it does to me is it shows that you support or believe in what I have to say, or are interested in what I have to say. And that then makes the channel grow. When the channel grows, I can get more people like-mindedly to subscribe, and that's how you get the message out. That would be awesome. There is a bell. I mean, you could ding that, and you're supposed to get notifications, but it does turn them off when it feels like it. But check the time. Yeah, I've got some time. So that, as well as the liking, the sharing, and using that wonderful comment section, which will be lit up like a Christmas tree with this one, because of course I am apparently attacking and splitting the right vote and all that ridiculousness. So, but it's there. And unless you're openly racist, violent, threatens of violence, etc., in other words, just being an idiot, it's there for all of you. You don't have to agree with me, and a lot of you don't, and a lot of you do. That's great. If it would be nice if it actually got a bit of discourse and a conversation going, that would be wonderful. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in, it nearly always degenerates into slinging mud and stupid insults. Any case, enough of that. I am done this time, I promise. Until the next one.